California's housing bubble isn't just deflating, it's bursting in slow motion. The Golden State, once the symbol of endless real estate growth, is now facing a reckoning. Prices are plunging, inventory is exploding, and confidence, the one thing that kept this market alive, is gone. Across the state, homes that sold in bidding wars 2 years ago are now sitting empty. Luxury condos have become financial traps, and middle-class families are walking away from their mortgages altogether. This isn't just a correction. It's a collapse in confidence, in affordability, and in the dream that California real estate can only ever go up. This is Discover the Nation, and today we count down the 10 California cities where home prices are in freefall. Stay with us until number 1, and if you care about the housing market, your next move, or the future of America's most expensive state, subscribe now, because what's coming next could change everything.
Number 10, Bakersfield. At number 10, Bakersfield, the blue-collar backbone of California, is cracking under the weight of rising rates and falling demand. Once a haven for affordability, Bakersfield became the pandemic migration magnet, a place where families fleeing Los Angeles and San Francisco could still buy a home without sacrificing stability. Between 2020 and 2022, prices soared nearly 65%, fueled by investors, remote workers, and cheap loans. But that boom has vanished. Median home prices are down 18% year over year, with starter homes falling fastest. In neighborhoods like Rosedale and Southwest Bakersfield, sellers are cutting $70,000 or more just to get a showing. Homes that once sparked bidding wars now sit untouched for months. The cause? Mortgage shock. Thousands of homeowners who bought with adjustable rates or minimal down payments are watching monthly costs balloon 40 to 50% higher. Meanwhile, Bakersfield's twin economic pillars, oil and logistics, have slowed as global demand cools, shrinking the pool of qualified buyers. Inventory has tripled, days on market have doubled, and price cuts dominate listings. Local agents say the last time the city saw this level of markdowns was 2009, at the bottom of the Great Recession. But Bakersfield's collapse isn't about greed, it's about fatigue. The families who thought they'd found California's last affordable refuge are discovering there's no safe corner left in this market, and for many, the realization is heartbreaking. They didn't escape California's chaos, it followed them home.
Number 9, Fresno. In Fresno, the dream of Central Valley growth is evaporating faster than anyone expected. Prices have plunged 21% from their 2022 peak, erasing nearly 4 years of appreciation. Even newer suburban developments in Clovis and southeast Fresno, once symbols of middle-class progress, are losing traction. Homes that sold for $500,000 2 years ago now sit unsold at $390,000 or less. The culprit is a double punch: income and insurance. Fresno's median household income is barely $70,000, yet the cost of owning an average home has soared to over $3,200 a month, once mortgage, taxes, and insurance are included. Insurance premiums, up 45% statewide, have turned ownership from a dream into a financial trap. Developers have slammed the brakes on new construction, canceling projects and laying off workers. Investors who once bought in bulk are dumping properties at losses. And even the rental market, long Fresno's safety net, is cracking. Vacancy rates are at their highest since 2015, and landlords are cutting rents just to stay competitive. The emotional shift is stark. Families who believed Fresno would be the affordable alternative to the coast now see it as a warning. No market is insulated from California's broader collapse. The middle-class lifeline that cities like Fresno once represented has frayed, and the myth of the affordable California city has officially died.
Number 8, Sacramento. The state capital, long considered California's safe bet, is unraveling faster than anyone predicted. Sacramento rode the pandemic boom like a rocket. Prices soared nearly 70% in 4 years as Bay Area transplants flooded the region, eager for bigger homes, cleaner air, and the illusion of affordability. But in 2026, that boom has turned to bust. Median home prices have fallen 19% overall, with high-end neighborhoods like East Sacramento and Arden Arcade seeing drops over 25%. The Bay Area buyers who once flocked here for space and savings are now retreating, burdened by higher property taxes, skyrocketing insurance premiums, and the collapse of remote work flexibility. Foreclosures have spiked 32% year over year, the sharpest rise since 2012. In communities like Elk Grove and Roseville, for sale signs sit for over 120 days, a haunting replay of the 2008 meltdown. Mortgage lenders are tightening standards, first-time buyers are vanishing, and investors who overpaid during the frenzy are quietly unloading their properties at losses. The once celebrated migration miracle has turned into a migration exodus. Families who believed they escaped the Bay's chaos are discovering that Sacramento has inherited its same problems: high costs, falling values, and economic uncertainty. Local agents call it the quiet correction. No panic, just exhaustion. Even infrastructure projects are stalling as revenue declines choke development funds. For a city that built its confidence on government stability and predictable growth, Sacramento's unraveling feels personal, a reminder that even the capital of California can't legislate its way out of market gravity.
Number 7. Palm Springs. Palm Springs, the glittering desert playground of California, has become the latest casualty of a boom that went too far. This sun-soaked haven, once synonymous with glamour, escape, and wealth, is now facing its harshest correction in decades. Home values have plunged 26%, the steepest drop in Southern California. And the deeper issue isn't just price, it's confidence. For years, Palm Springs thrived on retirees, investors, and Hollywood elites chasing serenity in the desert. But that same dream has withered under relentless heat waves, wildfire insurance chaos, and restrictive short-term rental policies. Airbnb income has collapsed. Occupancy rates have fallen below 50%, and tourism has cooled as triple-digit summers drive visitors away. Insurance premiums have skyrocketed, with some homeowners paying $12,000 or more annually under the FAIR plan for minimal coverage. Add soaring electricity bills and evaporating rental demand, and the math simply doesn't work anymore. Realtors whisper of an eerie silence in the luxury market. Open houses with no visitors, cash buyers gone, and foreclosures quietly reappearing in gated neighborhoods once thought invincible. Even developers are retreating. Planned resorts and golf communities are on hold, awaiting stability that may never return. Once the land of endless sunshine and second homes, Palm Springs is now defined by uncertainty. Construction cranes that once dotted the skyline stand idle, and longtime residents talk of the new Dust Bowl, a city drying up financially, not physically. Palm Springs' downfall isn't just economic, it's emotional. The desert was built on the promise of escape, but in 2026, there's nowhere left to run.
Number 6. San Diego. San Diego, long viewed as California's final fortress of stability, is finally cracking under the weight of its own perfection. For years, this city defied economic logic. Prices never fell as hard, recoveries came faster, and its weather drew an endless wave of buyers who believed San Diego was immune to downturns. But in 2026, the illusion has shattered. Median home prices that peaked above $900,000 in 2022 are now sliding towards $720,000 and falling. Inventory has surged nearly 90%. Listings are bloated with price cuts, and the once endless stream of affluent buyers has slowed to a trickle. Even the city's strongest demographic, dual-income tech and biotech professionals, is tapping out as monthly ownership costs skyrocket beyond $7,000. Luxury builders have slammed the brakes in communities like Del Mar, Encinitas, and La Jolla as projects stall mid-construction. Realtors report that showings are down 60%, and even cash buyers are pulling back, afraid of catching a falling knife. Mortgage brokers describe a crisis of confidence. a growing realization that San Diego's values may have been built more on prestige than practicality. And beneath the sunlit calm, anxiety spreads like wildfire. Homeowners whisper about selling before prices drop further, and rental demand, once sky-high, has begun to flatten as families flee for cheaper states. Even the city's high-end coastal rentals are softening, with landlords offering incentives unheard of just 2 years ago. San Diego's unraveling reveals a deeper truth. Stability isn't the absence of risk, it's the illusion of control. And for America's most idyllic city, that illusion has finally broken.
Number 5. Riverside. Riverside was supposed to be the affordable escape from Los Angeles. Now, it's one of California's hardest-hit housing markets. For years, the Inland Empire was the dream of working families: more space, lower prices, and an easy commute from the coast. But in 2026, that dream has evaporated. Prices have fallen 22% in a single year, the steepest drop since the 2008 housing crash. Inland migration has slowed, first-time buyers can't qualify, and investors are unloading homes at deep discounts. The math no longer works. Inventory is up 120%, while pending sales are down by nearly half. Many pandemic-era buyers used minimal down payments or adjustable-rate loans to stretch their budgets. Now, those rates are resetting, and payments have exploded by $800 to $1,200 a month. Families that once thought they'd made it are now on the brink. Neighborhoods in Moreno Valley, East Vale, and Menifee, the epicenters of suburban expansion, are filled with for-sale signs that never seem to come down. Banks have quietly started foreclosure filings on hundreds of delinquent loans. Realtors describe it as a silent panic, people holding on just long enough to hope for a rebound that isn't coming. Adding to the strain, Riverside's job engine, logistics, warehousing, and manufacturing, has cooled under global slowdown pressures. As wages stagnate and inflation bites, more homeowners are trapped in properties they neither sell nor afford to keep. The once thriving Inland Empire now feels eerily hollow. Streets lined with newly built homes are dotted with vacant driveways and neglected lawns. By 2026, Riverside's correction may no longer be just a dip. It could become California's next housing implosion, where affordability dreams finally collide with economic gravity.
Number 4. Santa Rosa. In the heart of wine country, Santa Rosa's housing bubble is bursting, and this time there's no soft landing. Once the jewel of Northern California's wine-soaked luxury, Santa Rosa now stands at the epicenter of a silent financial unraveling. Home values have fallen 23% since 2022, and million-dollar listings now linger for 200 days or more with no takers. Wildfire risk, rising insurance, and brutal interest rates have paralyzed the market. The state's FAIR Plan, California's last resort insurer, now covers nearly 1 in 5 homes in Sonoma County, with average premiums between $8,000 and $10,000 a year. That's more than many households' entire property tax bill, and for some, more than their annual income growth. The result is paralysis. Buyers have vanished, sellers are slashing prices, and desperation is spreading through once exclusive neighborhoods like Fountain Grove, Rincon Valley, and Bennett Valley. Entire streets of modern homes now sit unsold, a haunting contrast to the bidding wars that raged just 2 years ago. Local realtors say open houses draw more curiosity than offers. People walk through, love the home, then ask about insurance, one agent said. Once they hear the premium, they never call back. Even Santa Rosa's proud wine economy is feeling the squeeze. With tourism slowing and wealthy buyers pulling back, wineries are cutting staff and rural properties are being listed at record pace. Developers have frozen new construction entirely because no one wants to build what no one can insure. Santa Rosa's collapse isn't a single crash. It's a slow bleed, a financial drought spreading one unsold home at a time. And in the city that once symbolized California elegance, one truth remains clear. No amount of beauty can protect you from the cost of risk.
Number 3. Oakland.
The Bay Area's collapse has officially spread beyond San Francisco, and Oakland is now ground zero for California's next great unraveling. Prices have plunged 28% from their pandemic peak, foreclosures are climbing, and once vibrant neighborhoods are feeling eerily hollow. The combination of rising crime, corporate pullouts, and suffocating property costs has gutted confidence in a city once hailed as the Bay Area's gritty success story. Investors who fueled Oakland's post-2015 boom are vanishing. First-time buyers have disappeared. Even cash investors, the last to panic, are demanding 20 to 25% discounts just to take on the risk. But this collapse isn't just financial, it's emotional. Families who endured the city's ups and downs for decades are giving up, leaving for safer, cheaper ground in the Central Valley or out of state. Local businesses are shuttering, remote workers aren't returning, and the hum of construction cranes has fallen silent. Luxury condos in Uptown and Jack London Square, once symbols of Oakland's Renaissance, are sitting vacant. Downtown offices are half empty. Homelessness and safety concerns have driven a psychological wedge between buyers and the city itself. Longtime landlords are cashing out, even at losses, to escape what some call the new urban recession. The soul of Oakland, its creativity, its resilience, it's still there, but it's being drowned out by economic exhaustion. Once considered the Bay Area's best-kept secret, Oakland in 2026 has become a cautionary tale of what happens when hope collides with harsh arithmetic.
Number 2, Los Angeles. The world's most famous housing market, Los Angeles, is in freefall. From Beverly Hills to the San Fernando Valley, the city's glittering real estate empire is collapsing under its own weight. Luxury mansions in Bel Air and Beverly Hills are selling for 30% less than last year. Downtown condos are down 25%. Even family homes in Sherman Oaks and Studio City have dropped nearly $200,000 in 12 months. The reasons are brutal. Property taxes that have outpaced wages, mortgage rates near 7%, and a shrinking buyer pool as investors flee California altogether. Celebrities and corporate moguls who once collected homes like trophies are liquidating assets, while open houses that once drew bidding wars now echo with silence. The city's median home price has fallen to $810,000, yet affordability has never been worse. Insurance premiums, HOA fees, and special tax assessments add thousands in hidden costs each month. For many Angelenos, even a discounted home still feels out of reach. And the pressure isn't only financial, it's cultural. The aura of LA real estate as the ultimate status symbol has dimmed. Once owning here meant success, now it signals risk. The psychology of the market has shifted dramatically. Buyers no longer fear missing out, they fear overpaying. Wealthy sellers are slashing prices to chase a shrinking audience of serious buyers. Meanwhile, the entertainment industry, LA's lifeblood, has been rattled by layoffs, strikes, and a shift to cheaper filming hubs outside California. Construction cranes stand idle, and entire developments are quietly paused until further notice. Beneath the glitz, a reckoning is underway. The city's shimmering skyline still glows at night, but behind the lights, spreadsheets tell a different story. Negative equity, declining rent yields, and record insurance cancellations. Los Angeles built its legacy on glamour, ambition, and the illusion of endless growth. In 2026, that illusion is breaking, and the fall is every bit as cinematic as the city itself.
Number 1, San Francisco. At number 1, the city that defined the American housing bubble, San Francisco. The collapse here is no longer speculation, it's reality. Median home prices are down 33% from their peak, and luxury condos have fallen over 40%. Downtown's once thriving skyline now stands half empty, its towers dim at night, its confidence shattered. Tech layoffs have gutted demand. The exodus of companies and high-income workers has left behind an eerie quiet in neighborhoods that once buzzed with prosperity. Even with massive price cuts, buyers aren't returning. Sellers are slashing hundreds of thousands off listings, yet half the units in certain high-rises remain dark. Insurance costs, HOAs, and maintenance fees have turned ownership into a financial trap. In many buildings, association dues exceed $1,500 a month, while insurers demand premiums rivaling car payments. The math is unbearable, and so is the sentiment. Realtors whisper that even cash buyers are walking away from deals out of fear of what's next. Efforts to convert empty offices into housing have stalled, weighed down by zoning red tape and construction costs. Downtown's vacancy rate is the highest in city history, and retail corridors like Market Street are lined with empty storefronts and for lease signs. Homelessness, rising crime perception, and fleeing employers have only deepened the spiral. But the real loss isn't just economic, it's spiritual. San Francisco once symbolized innovation, resilience, and reinvention. It was the launch pad of America's tech dream, where ideas became empires. Now it's the country's most visible cautionary tale. A city struggling to rediscover purpose amid empty towers and fading optimism. Even longtime residents admit the unthinkable. It feels like the soul's gone. The once unstoppable housing juggernaut has hit a wall of reality, and the crash echoes across the nation. This isn't a correction, it's a reset. San Francisco's fall isn't just about property, it's about identity. The city that once set the price of American housing has become the country's starkest reminder that no market, no matter how iconic, is too big to fail.
From Bakersfield to San Francisco, California's housing crash isn't isolated. It's systemic. Too much speculation, too little affordability. And now, the math no longer adds up. 2026 will test California's resilience like never before. Some cities will rebound. Others may never recover. This is Discover the Nation. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, where the data meets the drama, hit subscribe and join us for more cinematic breakdowns of America's changing landscape. Because the next housing story has already begun.